I bet you're as happy as I am to know that spring is right around the corner, and with it will come Easter. We have all kinds of bunnies and butterflies and eggs and stuff.
And most of those can be found in this great collection, this Easter collection we have for you today.
Right, so we're going to start off with some papers and go through lots of projects. Come play with us. Well, as you can see, the table is about full, so from your side.
Right, so we have lots of stamps, some felt die cuts, some brand new Dazzles, as well as some Dazzles you've seen before, and a great new use for a takeout box.
Right, we're going to start with the Simply Spring paper pack. Now, this is a collection from We Are Memories, and because it is from them, they're going to have it in this plastic storage container. It's called Simply Spring.
It's a nice hard-bound container.
Yes, it is. And it is full of goodies. You going to take that for me?
I am.
Okay, they do have some embossed die cuts, and these are cute. They are talking about Easter, but then also everyday things, sunshine, and
there are 6 of those, and they're embossed.
Right.
So wonderful.
And speaking of embossed, the stickers are also embossed, so that just gives you a little bit of dimension. I can feel it as I rub across here. Sweet. Now we'll back up just a bit. I'm going to show you each of the papers. Now they are double-sided, so I'll show you the back side, and you get 4 of each one. So let me just go through these. This is one that you can cut up, and then the companion is this really soft teal. Then we have a dot, and on the other side there is a yellow of the half circles, that kind of Art Deco look. Then we've got flowers all over, and the back side of that is a stripe with a little scalloped edge.
Oh, wouldn't that be great for scrapbooking and writing on the lines?
Oh, it would, and you could write straight, couldn't you? Then we have some dots, and that was on the back side of there. Okay. Then we've got the yellow, and on the back side of that are some 6x6 papers, 4 of those. They're smaller versions of the other papers. This is butterflies on the 2 corners, and on the back side there is this kind of loopy swirl that's going on.
And you get more than one of each design.
You get 4,
so that you can make double-sided spreads with those
easily, right. So this green with the fern is an all-over pattern. On the back side are these brown brackets.
I love that.
Nice overall pattern. Floral, with the back side a tone-on-tone floral. And then we have the brackets, this time in orange, with on the back side you again have these 4 6x6s, smaller versions of the others. And then you have hanging Easter eggs, and on the back side you've got some polka dots. And then an all-over floral with a yellow on the back of that.
These colors.
Yeah, very
trendy
fun.
colors, right?
And let's see, we've got the dots along with stripes on the back side of it, as you can see. And then we have some sheets of lightly embossed cardstock. And
right, so you have 6 of those sheets,
right.
48 of the other pattern papers that you just saw.
So all of that going together. Now, after showing you this, I'm going to show you our first example is not using these papers, so just bear with me.
That's all right. That's the versatility of everything you're seeing here.
You want to bring in the stamp? And this is from Stampendous, and this is just a little charmer, as you can see. This is from the Happy Hoppers. It's part of the House Mouse collection that they have licensed. And look at that little guy.
It's beautiful. It's just stamped on there and then painted over, basically, with the watercolored pencils.
Right, and obviously turned into a Happy Easter.
Right.
Now, we've used this with the chalkboard paper pack.
Right, and the design toolkit number 5 was used to create that heart. So here is the heart shape. This one has scallops on the outer edge, but it's also got that inner design that you can trace and cut out that heart.
And also, let's see, go back to your first one. Right, this was used for the front of the card, so right there.
To get that cutaway design.
Yeah. So very nicely done, very, very pretty. And this is just opening like so.
Right. I love the embellies used here too. Those are the chalkboard embellies.
Works really nicely. Now we're going to move on to the brand new Dazzles, and these are the chick ones.
The cute Easter chick Dazzles. They have a great look all over, and I love the little sayings, peep, peep, and have an excellent Easter.
And here's what that sheet looks like. There are 17 pieces on it, and that's not including the innies, but we do show you how to use those.
Including that little egg border on the edge, which is wonderful.
So here is this little guy just peeking out, and there's an example of what you can do if you want to color in that border you were talking about.
So some of it has been paperback, and the rest has been colored in with Spectrum Noir.
And here is another example of this little guy just peeking right away. And this is also using a different design tool. And the instructions will be in the gallery, so you can find that.
I like that in this one you can use that border without having to color in and just use the pattern paper to color the back of it.
Options. We always like options. Now, Gail found a really fun thing that you can do with the Stitch Dazzles that does not involve stitching.
Right. What I did was I took the Dazzles, and here they are, the stitched Easter egg Dazzles. I placed them on acetate, and I used Spectrum Noir on the back side to color in each section.
So what happened is that by putting them on acetate, you still get that translucent look, but it captured the adhesive so that you could color on the back of the acetate. And just layering like that, I just think this is a whole new look.
It is. It was so fun doing all of those little eggs individually, even using small ones here on this tag. And the paper pack that you're seeing there are the Robin's Red paper pack.
Now, we will get into the Simply Spring, the paper pack that we just showed you, finally. But here we've added some of those felt butterflies.
Those felt butterflies, and there are 30 of them.
Yeah,
they come in lots of colors.
Let me open up this pack.
And they do come in more than one design, too. So several of each design and each color.
You can let the butterflies just flutter all over.
We even have the little sideways butterflies and the front-facing butterflies.
So with 30 of them, you're going to get lots of options. So you can see that the sideways, as you were talking about, this card just uses 2 of the front. And you can see that there's that die cut.
What I like about this is that here are all these bright colors, but if you just single out a couple of colors, then you can have this whole color scheme. It can be a lighter shade.
And isn't that pretty, just using it like that? Very nice.
Oh, I believe that was used to trace that tag on the inside.
And we're going to move on to another stamp. Now, this is called a jumbo or a giant Easter bunny. It's not jumbo. It's just sweet. You want to bring it in?
He is a very cute little bunny, and he is on a cling rubber stamp, which I'm going to show you here is what it looks like on the back. So you can use that on an acrylic block.
And this is from Art Impressions, and you can see we've doubled up those sideways butterflies to create a shadow. That works really nicely.
Here's the other stamp that was used. Do I smell jelly beans?
I just thought that was so cute.
It is. It's also from Art Impressions.
Right. Very sweet. Look at that little guy. Just absolutely charming. Now, don't forget, bunnies are fine even after Easter.
Right. So. And here's this large label is one of the die cuts from the paper pack.
Okay. Now, here is yet another stamp from Art Impressions, and this is the Happy Easter stamp.
The Happy Easter stamp. It's pretty good size there, as you can see, and you can color it in to any way that you like. This was done with Spectrum Noir pens.
Now, we've added the felt eggs, so that's going to come the same way as the butterflies. It comes in a package of 30. And this is from our friends at Creative Impressions.
Kind of an interesting thing about these, they come in the different designs and different colors. They also have this little tab at the top, so you can run a thread or ribbon through that if you want to make a garland.
Or if you want to hang them from the top.
Right. Yeah. Or you can cut that off and use them the way they were done here, just as a shape itself.
Now, this is also using another of the Stitch Dazzles, and this time they were stitched, but you don't have to. It was put on the pattern paper from the Simply Spring collection, and then just some simple stitches
There are lots to choose from on this dazzle sheet. They are the Birds and Bees dazzles, stitch dazzles.
Let me show you on the back side, simple stitching, just straight stitches, and we show you how to do that. Again, you don't have to, but just thought it would be fun for you to see a couple of these little guys added right here. Now, scrapbookers, we haven't forgotten you. Here is a page, and it is using, of course, the Simply Spring set. It's also using, remember seeing that little tag, that embossed tag?
Tag there. So there are lots of elements here. There are a couple of the tags. There are some of the felt eggs here, and some of the new Peeps dazzles.
Right, and works perfectly well with this paper collection. Now we also have another look. Now we promised you a different take on the takeout boxes, which normally are like this. But Debbie did this, and she turned it over to have a bigger surface, as you can see what she's done. Whoops. Across each one.
Isn't that great? So it comes as this flat pattern.
Right.
You decorate it in any way that you want, and then you pop it up and put it together.
And it's very important to do this on the inside. Yes.
Are those candy eggs?
They are. We'll be testing those a little bit later.
You know, what else would be kind of nice is to wrap ribbon around the top of that, and you might have a little handle.
You could do that. Yes. Very cute. Now, our final one is we're going away from the cutesy and into a little more serious matter, and this is using the cross stamp, again from Stampendous.
Isn't that beautiful? So it's a very large stamp. What is that, about 4 by 5 inches, I would say?
It's a nice size. Now, what was done with this is slightly different. So as with all of Stampendous' stamps, they come on a plastic, and you just pull the plastic off, but leave the other piece of plastic
Leave the other piece of plastic on there and set that right onto an acrylic block.
Like so.
And then I have cardstock here. I'm going to show you. Debbie came up with this idea. I just thought it was a wonderful idea. We have fluid chalk inks here. We have Harvest, Ice Jade, Rose Coral, and Olive Pastel. I'm going to go ahead and pop each one of those open. If you want to open those two for me, I'll grab my stylus. We have our stylus handle with the foam tips on there. I actually grabbed 2 just to make it a little quicker for our purposes, but these do pop off easily, and you can place more of them on there for changing colors. So what Debbie did first was she started inking this in stripes. Like as you're looking here, there's stripes of color like so, and she just inked up the applicator like so and started around the bottom, and she kind of avoided the cross. It's okay if you hit it a little bit, because this is kind of a free flowing kind of an art form here. So there's the green at the bottom. Since I have the Ice Jade on the other end of my applicator, I'm going to use that and ink up the top.
Okay, so you're going to do that in little pieces.
In little pieces. So there's a stripe up there. Then I'm going to grab the other one I have ready for the Rose Coral. Get that pretty inked.
You can tell these are the same colors that were in the papers too, aren't they?
Right. They match the papers perfectly, and that's what you can see in the card, that she matched it quite nicely. So you do kind of want to work quickly, because you don't want all of these inks to dry before you get a chance to go ahead and stamp them. And I think I'm going to have you go ahead and stamp this on the paper. That should be ready to go.
Okay. Now the cross part is done as a separate one?
As a separate piece. You're going to stamp it twice, so you get that on there. And if I was kind of quick enough in doing that.
Okay,
there
it's a little light.
It's a little light, but there's going to be more added to it in just a moment. Now we're going to go back and do the cross in the center.
So I shouldn't have taken that away.
That's all right. We're going to ink that up again. And like I said, this is a little bit of a free form. And I noticed that in her stamping, it looks like they don't quite match up, the second stamping, and it just, if you look at it, it just really doesn't matter. You've got that nicely.
So I'm going to do this, huh?
Oh, I can do it. I'll do it. Okay, here we go. So there's the image, and I'm just going to eyeball. It's not a clear stamp, so it makes it a little more difficult, but it does not have to be perfect.
I think you're there. Oops.
Well, it might be a little off, but... Okay, let's see how that looks.
Ah,
And then
nice.
one brief thing I'm going to show you is afterwards, you can go back with just a little bit more ink and sort of blend in a little bit.
Oh, so it is very forgiving.
Right, to just give a little bit of
Oh.
more highlighting, and you can do that with each of the other colors.
Okay, so let me hold this at an angle because they are very soft colors. Isn't that pretty? Very nice. And she's added some dazzles in there.
Just enough, just the dazzle touch. I love that she tore the edges off
Yes.
to complete that look.
That's very nice. Well, we thank Debbie for doing that for us. And so if you're Easter, if you want it cutesy and fun, or if you want to take a more religious vein, we've got it for you. And you may just want to do both because after all, different folks have different needs.
But you better get hopping.
Happy Easter.